Okay, so let's try and unpack this. Imagine this scenario, right?
Yeah.
You've just finished your absolute worst season in, what, over 50 years?
hmm
You've just lost a final. You're looking at a season with no European football at all.
Yeah, a bleak picture.
And then straight after that, you're off to Asia for what the source itself calls a money-spinning tour.
Right.
And somehow, amidst all of that, there's this postseason friendly, kind of under the radar. But it ends with this surprising comeback win, led by players you might not even really know yet.
Exactly. And that's the scene set by this Sky Sports report we're going to get into today. It's all about Manchester United's 3-1 win over Hong Kong recently.
And our mission here really is to look beyond just the 3-1 scoreline. We want to pull out the key details, the insights, maybe the surprising bits from the article.
Yeah, context is crucial.
Exactly. The challenges they're facing, maybe some glimmers of something different. Just to understand what this one match reported right after the season tells us about where Manchester United is like right now.
It's more than just 90 minutes. It's a snapshot, like you said.
Yep.
So the main event we're talking about is this 3-1 victory for United against Hong Kong, a friendly right at the tail end of the domestic season.
And the background for this trip, the article really highlights this. It's pretty significant, isn't it? It's not just a kickabout.
No, definitely not.
The source is quite clear. This is a commercial trip to Asia, framed as money spinning. They were there like immediately after the season wrapped up.
And the report even tries to put a figure on it, suggests the trip could be worth something like £8 million to the club.
Wow.
And this financial angle is set against what the report calls, pretty bluntly, their worst top-flight campaign in 51 years.
51 years. Just hearing that stat tells you how difficult things have been.
It really does.
And the article reminds us that season also finished with losing the Europa League final to Spurs.
Right. And the consequence of all that.
Well, the report points it out. Next season is their first time without any European football since, what, 2014-15?
Yeah, quite a while ago. It really underlines the challenging spot they're in right now.
Definitely.
And this Hong Kong game, it wasn't even the first match of this postseason tour. The report mentions just a couple of days before, they'd actually lost 1-0.
Oh, yeah, 2.
To the ASEAN All-Stars over in Kuala Lumpur. And apparently, some parts of the crowd actually booed the team after that loss.
Ouch. Okay, so the mood probably wasn't exactly great heading into this Hong Kong match then.
Probably not, no. So the match itself, according to the report, it starts with United, having most of the ball, controlling the territory.
Kind of dominating early.
They were, yeah, but the source notes they were struggling a bit to make real chances from it, or score, obviously.
Okay.
And then, maybe in a way that echoes their season a little, they get caught out. Hong Kong score first.
Oh.
Juninho in the 19th minute, apparently against the run of play. The article says the shot kind of squirmed past Tom Heaton in goal.
So 1-0 down, even though they were bossing the game early on, that must have been frustrating.
Yeah, you'd think so. But then the second half brought a pretty big change, both in who was playing and, well, the score.
A complete switch-up.
Total overhaul. The report details that an entirely different 11 came out for the second 45.
Okay.
And this is where the story, it really pivots.
Right, this is where it gets interesting, I think. And maybe gives us a different kind of perspective on the club's future, perhaps.
Could be.
The comeback was started by some really young players. A 17-year-old, Chido Obi, scored the equalizer. 50th minute.
Yeah, the source describes it as a fine touch and finish, his first big moment.
And he wasn't finished, was he?
Not at all. Obi then gets the go-ahead goal, 82nd minute. Header from a Mason Mount cross.
Yeah.
And the article makes a specific point of saying these were his first ever senior goals for Manchester United.
2 in one game, including the winner. That's quite something for a 17-year-old.
Absolutely. A statement performance in a way, even in a friendly...
And there's more, right?
Yeah.
The scoring wasn't done.
Nope. Another youngster. 8 in heaven, he added a third. Stoppage time. Another header, actually. Sealed the 3-1 win.
So the goals that flipped the game all came from teenagers. Obi in heaven.
That's right. And the report throws in a pretty fascinating detail about their backgrounds, too.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Well, the article makes sure to mention this, both Obi and Heaven, they actually joined United from Arsenal's academy.
From Arsenal?
Yeah.
Really? Switching between rivals like that at youth level, that's noteworthy.
It certainly stands out, doesn't it? The report also gives a nod to Mason Mount, who got the assist for Obi's second goal, Apparently, he'd been denied a penalty earlier in that half as well.
Okay. And other familiar names feature too.
Yeah, Johnny Evans, who's leaving the club, he made his final appearance in this game.
Ah, end of an era for him there.
And the article also notes that the captain, Bruno Fernandes, and Alejandro Garnacho both started the match.
Which is interesting, like just contextually, given all the speculation around their futures that the source kind of alludes to as well.
Exactly. It grounds this friendly match within the bigger picture at the club, including, the transfer window coming up.
Right.
The report gives the dates for that, too. This pre-club World Cup window, June 1st to 10th, then the main summer one from June 16th right through to September 1st, just setting the scene for the period the club's heading into.
Yeah. All useful context.
Yeah.
Okay, so stepping back a bit, looking at everything this Sky Sports piece touches on about just this one friendly.
Yeah.
What are the main things we're sort of pulling out here for you?
Well, I think the first thing is this wasn't just about a simple 3-1 win in a game you might normally just ignore.
Right.
The article really uses it as a way to show us a few different things, like the club's need for these maybe slightly unpopular money-spinning tours right after a long season highlights those financial pressures.
Mm-hmm. The £8 million figure.
Yeah, and it acts as this stark reminder of the incredibly tough season they just had. Worst in 51 years, lost the final, no Europe next season. It hammers that home.
But then, right in the middle of all that, that difficult context, the report shifts focus in the second half, doesn't it?
Completely.
It zooms in on the impact of these young players. Seeing 17-year-old Chido Obi score twice his first senior goals, then Aiden Heaven adding another, and knowing they both came from Arsenal's academy.
Yeah, the article presents that almost like a potential signpost, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. It feels like the source is hinting that, amongst all the difficulties and the commercial needs, maybe there's some internal growth, some pathway emerging.
These young guys stepping up, even if it's just a friendly, maybe they represent a different kind of hope or asset for a club that's facing big challenges elsewhere.
So, okay, here's something maybe for you to think about after listening to this.
Mm-hmm.
Given everything the article lays out, the context of this historically bad season, the clear financial need driving these tours, a big summer transfer window looming,
Yeah.
what does the performance of these specific young players, Obi and Heaven, in this particular friendly, what does it really signal about United's path forward, maybe in the short term?
Yeah.
Could developing these guys become a bigger part of the plan than we thought, perhaps? Well, perhaps partly out of necessity.
That's a really interesting question to leave things on. We hope this deeper look into the Sky Sports report gave you some fresh angles on this match and what it might signify.
Yeah, keep digging into the sources yourselves. See what else jumps out at you. Let us know your thoughts.